Dr. Lenchus is a board-certified internal medicine physician who has been deeply involved in organized medicine for more than 20 years. Dr. Lenchus is Chief Medical Officer for Broward Health. Originally from Brooklyn, New York, Dr. Lenchus received his bachelor's degree in pharmacy from the University of Florida and worked as a pharmacist for 3 years before continuing to pursue his longtime goal of becoming a physician. He earned his medical degree from Nova Southeastern University College of Osteopathic Medicine in 2000 and completed his internal medicine residency at Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami. After residency, Dr. Lenchus worked as a hospitalist for the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine, where he also became an associate professor of medicine, anesthesiology, and radiology. Additionally, he served as an associate program director for Jackson's internal medicine residency program from 2007 to 2016. An FMA Executive Committee member since 2014, Dr. Lenchus has held leadership roles including President-elect, Speaker, and Vice Speaker, in addition to serving on numerous councils and committees. He is also an FMA PAC member, past president of the Florida Osteopathic Medical Association, past president of the Miami-Dade County Osteopathic Medical Society, and he has been an active member of many other medical organizations at the national, state, and county levels. Joining Dr. Lenchus is his wife, Deborah, and his 4 kids, Isaac, Samuel, Aaron, and Hannah. Dr. Lenchus and his family, please join Dr. Murphy as he has the honor of installing you as the Florida Medical Association's 146th president.
It is a true privilege to install Dr. Joshua Lenchus as the 146th President of the Florida Medical Association. Dr. Lenchus, please raise your right hand. Please repeat after me. I solemnly swear that I shall carry out the duties
I solemnly swear that I shall carry out the duties
of the office of the President of the Florida Medical Association
of the office of the President of the Florida Medical Association
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I promise my loyalty and dedication
I promise my loyalty and dedication
and will work in partnership with the physicians of this state,
and will work in partnership with the physicians of this state,
and I shall uphold the Constitution
and I shall uphold the Constitution
and the bylaws of the organization at all times,
and the bylaws of the organization at all times,
and work to accomplish the goal of our mission, vision, and values.
and work to accomplish the goal of our mission, vision, and values.
To these duties and obligations, I pledge myself.
To these duties and obligations, I pledge myself.
Congratulations, Dr. Lenchus. You are duly installed, sir. Hang on. Put a pin on, brother. Please, Dr. Murphy, join us. That's it. There you go, buddy. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to gather, buddy.
Well, I think par for the course is to take a selfie with the audience. Madam Speaker, Mr. Vice Speaker, President Murphy, Mr. Clark, distinguished guests, including my former colleagues, family, friends, and this esteemed House of Delegates. I am privileged to serve as the 146th President of your Florida Medical Association. A hospitalist, a pharmacist, and the first osteopathic physician to take this office, today we have indeed shattered a glass ceiling. What an incredibly humbling honor. Thank you. These last 2.5 years have redefined the practice of medicine in many ways. Students were thrust out of their training sites to conserve personal protective equipment and protect them from unnecessary exposure. Residents suddenly graduated to levels of responsibility beyond that for which they were prepared, and as many attending physicians were called upon to render care in their respective fields, some did so in areas to which they were last exposed during medical school rotations years earlier. On a battleship entering a combat zone, all hands on deck is a preparatory cry, warning of the impending inevitable. On a field of battle, one must depend on the person next to them to protect and defend them when the situation seems bleak and during the darkest hours. And in an aerial dogfight, the wingman is crucial to providing support and a different view than the one seen from the pilot's cockpit. Those combat analogies became all too familiar as we relied on each other during this incredibly trying time. Some called us heroes for getting up every day, trudging back to that place at which we would encounter the ongoing potential ravages of the COVID-19 enemy, doing what we could using the minimal stockpile in our armamentarium, something completely foreign to us, as we are typically more prepared and better equipped to address any disease encountered. We did what we could in the face of ever-changing guidance, if there was any, in the hope of helping as many as we could. Fortunately, and finally, we are now moving from the pandemic to endemic phase. Most were saved, some were not. Please join me in a moment of silence for all in and out of healthcare who lost their lives and the families and friends left behind. Thank you. Resilience is born out of adversity. Even the formidable steel is malleable when stressed in the fantastic heat of the forge. Who we are is most clearly demonstrated during times of crisis. Masking, testing, treating, vaccinating, advising, guiding, informing, leading. While society nearly ground to a halt, history will note the extraordinary response of healthcare during this pandemic, and the FMA is proud of each of you for answering that call. There is another group among us here today, one for whom this is all too familiar. Those who also suited up, albeit a different uniform. They wrote a blank check payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life in its defense, and signed that check with blood. Anyone who has served or is currently serving in any branch of the military is a hero. Someone who also knows about serving a cause greater than oneself. Again, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. I have something particularly special for you guys after, so come find me. This country's more polarized than ever before. The two sides do not seem to be able to agree on nearly anything. While the FMA should be a home for all physicians, it is not the home for every issue, nor should it be. Our mission is to help physicians practice medicine, and that should be the litmus test for our resolutions, our policies, our thoughts, our words, our actions, and our deeds. There are organizations that can address other issues, but the FMA should be focused on achieving the objective of improving our daily practice of medicine. As we soon embark on reference committee testimony and the deliberations of this fine House, note that healthy discourse is always preferred over groupthink, but it must be done respectfully and professionally. We are debating issues, not each other. As a group of highly educated, successful Type A personalities, we should all be able to appreciate that we will not all agree on every issue, but we should also not be so naive as to think that we have all the answers or that there is but a single side. Knowledge is gained through disagreement and discussion. As Speaker, I sought to empower the voice of the minority so all perspectives could be heard, and I pledge to do so as your President. Annually, like you, I have heard the rallying cry for payment reform and opposition to scope of practice expansion efforts, and more recently, calls to improve the provision of mental health care to our patients and wellness efforts for ourselves. Rather than inform you of problems about which you know so much and so intimately, I'll simply share with you what organized medicine has accomplished since these discussions began. The Balanced Budget Act of 1997 not only capped residency positions in the U.S., but also gifted us a system designed to control Medicare costs, named the Sustainable Growth Rate. After years of tireless efforts, we transitioned from the SGR to MACRA in 2015. For EPs, CMS combined PQRS, VBP, MU into the EHR using MIPS and AAPMs. In medical training, we remembered mnemonics for things like Ranson's criteria for acute pancreatitis and cranial nerves. Now we remember them to help us navigate our daily payment for clinical services rendered. Over the last 7 years, we too have become to realize that this system needs repair. Stay the course, my friends. It will take a while, but there are, in fact, national efforts underway to do just that. Closer to home, we have long lobbied for parity between Medicaid and Medicare payments. Fallen on relatively deaf ears over the years, we continue to beat that drum on behalf of medicine, and the fight continues. Other notables you heard this morning already: payment for telehealth services and addressing obstacles to our daily practice of medicine, such as prior authorization and step therapy. Healthcare is provided by a multidisciplinary team of highly educated professionals. Each has a purpose, plays a crucial role, has a distinct responsibility. However, that team has but one captain: the physician. There is no reason why someone cannot already practice at the top of their license, unless they choose not to do so. There are no gradations to licensure. Those who make that claim seek to do what is encompassed in another's license, not their own. We should and will continue to fight against the degradation of our calling. We do not get reimbursed, we get paid for healthcare services rendered. We are not providers, we are physicians. When one wonders what the FMA did for them, remind them of these issues and the ongoing successes we have garnered because of you, through involvement, PAC donations, servant volunteerism, and relationship building. While sometimes adversaries, we work with insurance companies, other healthcare professionals, lawyers, and hospitals on a range of issues generally informed by bills considered or introduced in state legislature. We do not always win, but we always have a strategy. We always have contingency plans and fallback positions to maintain our position as a powerful voice for medicine in the state of Florida. I was taught to lead by example. So for those who weren't paying attention to the bio, I'm a Jewish guy from New York, the eldest of 4 boys who went to religious and public school. I attended 2 high schools, community college, and 2 universities. I received scholarships, grants, and loans, worked as a pharmacist in retail and hospital settings. My residency was accomplished at the largest public teaching hospital in the nation. I'm an employed physician, worked in academics, performed clinical work, grant-funded research, taught students and residents, implemented curricula, served in administrative roles, and much more. All this is to say that each of us has a fantastically diverse background, and I seek to tap into that, recognizing each person for their experience and perspective to make us collectively a better organization. For my council, committee, and board appointments, I have sought diversity, not just in race or gender, but in practice, skill set, thought, and experience so that many facets of the House of Medicine are represented. I'm incredibly proud of the team assembled and positive that others will see them in leadership positions, consider them mentors, and emulate them with newfound enthusiasm that the FMA is indeed a mirror of physicians in the state of Florida. Our staff has incredible prowess and respect. They consistently fight for us with dogged determination, always considering how we can become an even better organization. From finance to membership, CME to advocacy, legal to government affairs, and assistance to our new CEO, each of them has accepted the responsibility to help us help our fellow physicians practice medicine. Please join me in thanking them. Thank you. Of course, I would be remiss in likely sleeping on the couch in the hotel room if I did not thank my incredible family. That's assuming I do sleep during this weekend. Parents, brothers, children, and of course, my wife, Deborah. Anyone in leadership knows that you are in that position, not simply because of the trust placed in you by the organization, but primarily because of the selfless support of your family and willingness to share you without ever fully understanding the depth or breadth or rationale about what we do. Caring for the 4 kids, the dog, and the house while I'm constantly away at work or meetings is no small task, and it would not be possible for me to be standing here today if not for her and them. I love you guys. Thank you. As the past presidents on this dais know, each successive president stands on the shoulders of those who came before. While I'm not dressed as Superman like Dr. Pillersdorf was, or own the neon suits worn by Dr. Becker, each leaves a mark and presides over circumstances yet unknown at times. Dr. Petit taking the virtual oath of office after our live meeting was canceled in 2020. Or Dr. Murphy navigating the search for our new CEO over this past year. As we look toward the future, we must navigate the seemingly never-ending divide among us as citizens and an unfortunate growing schism in the House of Medicine. Let us never forget why we chose this time-honored profession and remain professional in our discourse. We must understand that our position may not satisfy all, and there will be other issues that arise, less polarizing than what you have handed me in guns and abortion this year, that we must approach with optimistic and enthusiastic problem solving, with a strategy to combat the inevitable and with a sense of collective purpose in our mission to help physicians practice medicine. I welcome the challenges that await me, and I do so confidently because of your support. Thank you again for this incredibly historic honor. May God bless you and the Florida Medical Association. Thank you very much.